California, where officials are reporting a deadly shooting at a church in the town of Laguna Woods.
This is about 50 miles southeast of downtown Los Angeles at the Geneva Presbyterian Church. We know one person has died. At least 4 others were critically injured. A 5th person was also shot. All of these victims are adults.
The Orange County Sheriff's Department has one person detained along with what they believe to be the weapon that was used in this shooting. We are continuing to follow this story as it develops. We'll bring you updates as new information comes in.
Turning now to the latest on yesterday's deadly shooting at a supermarket in Buffalo, New York. Communities across the nation in a state of shock after 10 people were killed and 3 others were injured yesterday afternoon. Today, we are learning more about a possible motive. Investigators reviewing a 180-page purported manifesto that was posted online in connection with that shooting. ABC's Rena Roy explains it's one reason why officials say they have no doubt this was a hate crime.
The horrific scene unfolding Saturday afternoon in Buffalo, New York. 10 people shot and killed, 3 others injured after a gunman opened fire at this Tops Friendly Market.
That this is an absolute racist hate crime. It will be prosecuted as a hate crime. This is someone who has hate in their heart, soul, and mind.
Among those killed, 32-year-old Roberta Drury, a regular at Tops Market, and 86-year-old Ruth Whitfield, who stopped for groceries on her way home from visiting her husband in a nursing home. The suspect, 18-year-old Peyton Gendron, arraigned Saturday on 1 count of first-degree murder and ordered held without bail. According to law enforcement, he traveled more than 3 hours from Conklin, New York to carry out the attack in this predominantly black neighborhood. Police say the suspect was wearing body armor and a tactical helmet, shooting 4 people in the parking lot before entering the store.
We're going to need some officers inside the Tops because we have numerous bodies. Officers
responded to the scene within 1 minute, quickly taking the suspect into custody.
This individual came here with the expressed purpose of taking as many black lives as he possibly could. So the Buffalo police saved a lot of lives.
Out of an abundance of caution, the NYPD has now stepped up patrols at predominantly black churches in New York City. And this is all part of a larger concern from law enforcement across the country who have been increasingly warning about so-called lone wolf killers. Rena Roy, ABC News, Buffalo, New York.
Meanwhile, emotions were high here in San Antonio after news of yesterday's shooting up in New York.
Yeah, our Lee Waldman joins us live from the east side. And Lee, people you spoke with are having a tough time trying to understand how and why this happened.
Exactly, Courtney and Tim. The people we spoke with said they can't even begin to fathom this level of hatred. We stopped by several churches on the east side, and one man we spoke with, who's an ex-military police officer, says the details of this shooting are alarming. Herman Irving told us not only because of the weapon used, an AR-15 with a high-capacity magazine, that's according to New York Governor Kathy Hochul, but also because of the suspect's age.
It's getting much worse. And the young people, they're just getting younger every day. Here's an 18-year-old kid with an automatic weapon go into a grocery store or whatever. How can he get the weapon? Where did he get it from?
Tonight, we're learning from Hochul the weapon used was thought to have been bought legally outside of New York. Now, tonight on the Night Beat, we're going to wrap up everything that we know about this shooting in Buffalo, New York, as well as speak with a local mental health professional about how this shooting could have been prevented. Live on the east side, Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
Now over to the Houston area, a little bit closer to home. The Harris County's Sheriff's Office is investigating a shooting there at a flea market. They say 2 people were killed, 3 others injured.
This was all in North Harris County about 1 o'clock today, according to our sister station in Houston, KPRC. The shooting happened during an altercation between 2 groups of people. Right now, 2 people are in custody. We're told no one else was hurt. Back here closer to home, a man is dead after he drowned in the Guadalupe River over the weekend. The city of New Braunfels says officers and fire crews were called to an area of the river along Green Road yesterday around 6 o'clock in the evening. They were told a man was swimming in the river when he went under and didn't come back up. After about 20 minutes, paramedics were able to locate his body. Officials say that man is from Mexico. So far, they have not released his identity.
A motorcyclist is dead after he crashed on the north side overnight. Right now, we are still working to learn his name. The crash happened before 2 this morning along 281 at Hildebrand. San Antonio police say the man hit a wall on the overpass after he didn't turn properly around a curve. He died at the hospital.
SAPD also investigating a shooting from overnight. Officers called out to Briggs Avenue near Southwest Military and New Laredo Highway around 1 o'clock this morning. That's over there on the southwest side. They say at least 20 shell casings were found in the street along with blood, but the victim was not there. That's because SAPD says the man had already left the scene trying to get help at a nearby clinic.
3 days have gone by and the search continues for Gonzalo Lopez, the Texas inmate who escaped custody on Thursday. Right now, the reward for his capture is at $50,000. Gonzalo is serving a life sentence for murder. On Thursday, he escaped a transport bus after stabbing the driver in Centerville. Investigators believe he is still in the Leon County area.
Still ahead on the news at 5:30, University Hospital offering the chance to learn some life-saving skills this week. It's an event happening with our KSAT community partners, and it's called Stop the Bleed. We'll tell you when it is and how those skills could potentially help you save a life. That's when we come back. Happening this month, University Hospital will be hosting its annual Stop the Bleed campaign. It's a national effort with the goal of raising awareness about unforeseen injuries that can happen to any person at any time.
Now, the focus is teaching our community valuable skills that can be life-saving in any emergency situation. Our Jonathan Cotto with why the event is so important and how you can help learn to save a life.
Doctors say traumatic injury is the #1 cause of death in young people ages 1 to 40.
And a lot of those injuries can be saved if we could get the injured person to the hospital in time.
Medical experts say a person with a severe injury can bleed out in less than 5 minutes.
Say, for example, there's a piece of broken glass and you accidentally cut yourself and you happen to take a blood thinner because you have heart disease or you have diabetes, you have kidney disease, and you're on a blood thinner. So you'll bleed out much more quickly than a regular a person not on medication.
So the goal is to quickly stop or slow down the bleeding, and medical professionals at University Hospital are ready to teach those major life-saving skills to our community.
So we teach someone to stay calm and call 911, and then we show them how to identify the area of bleeding and then hold pressure over that area and wait for EMS to get there.
The training will take place on May 19th, and after just an hour, those in attendance will walk away with the necessary skills needed to perform what first responders refer to as bleeding CPR, potentially save a life.
I identify someone who's bleeding to death. And so at the end of that hour, we hope that whoever attends the class will feel comfortable helping when they have identified a situation where someone's severely bleeding.
The National Stop the Bleed Day event will be happening here at the KSAT District Office on the city's northwest side. For more information on how to register for this event, just head on over to our website, KSAT.com, and search for Stop the Bleed. And keep in mind, you do not have to be a medical professional to learn how to save a life. Reporting, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Taking a look outside with live cam. Yep, it is hot again, and I believe we broke the record high for today and set a new record high. I'm waiting for the official info from the National Weather Service, but the record for today was 96, and I believe we've gotten as hot as 98. Again, I'm keeping an eye on the data for you, but either way, it was hot, but we have something exciting to look forward to tonight, the total lunar eclipse. I've got that forecast for you coming up very shortly. Today, the aquifer up just 1/10 of a foot, and in your pollen count looking good here. Molds and grass are low on this Sunday. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
It's not good when we're racking up heat records this early.
It's too early for this.
Yeah.
It is. As we've been talking about, and I've kind of worn out this stat over the last week, but on average, we see our first triple-digit day around June 26th. So it is early, and we didn't get up to the triple digits today, but it looks like we made it up to 98, and that beats the old record high for today by 2 degrees. So record challenging and record breaking heat will continue for several more days, but there is a little bit of hope on the horizon, and I'll tell you what that is in just a few minutes. I want to start off with the lunar eclipse forecast for tonight. We've got clear skies out there, satellite picture, nothing happening, not only here, but also elsewhere across Texas. All the action is across Oklahoma, Arkansas, where they've got some severe thunderstorms that are dropping south. All of that activity is going to stay well to our east, so it won't even send any cloud cover our direction. So through tonight, 9 p.m., close to when the eclipse begins, we've got clear skies here all the way through the eclipse into the overnight hours. Not worried about cloud cover, and that's not always the case for us when it comes to these types of events. Usually we're battling some type of clouds, but that will not be the case tonight. So good viewing for the eclipse. The eclipse itself begins around 9:30. Totality begins around 10:30, and that's when the moon will start to take on that reddish kind of copper color, and then totality ends closer to midnight. Otherwise, aside from the cloud cover, it will be warm but breezy out there this evening. So here's the preliminary almanac for today. Again, I've seen a temperature as high as 98 at the airport, so I do believe that will end up being our high temperature for today, beating the old record of 96 from back in 2003. Elsewhere across South Central Texas, 101 the high in Del Rio today, 100 in Pleasanton, and 103 in Cotulla. So heat continues this week. We'll continue to keep our afternoon highs about 10 to 15 degrees above average for this time of year. 100 tomorrow afternoon, 99 on Tuesday, upper 90s for your highs all the way through the end of the work and school week, 95 Saturday. And that's when things may start to change in our favor as we get into next weekend. And I'll tell you a bit more about that very shortly. High temperatures elsewhere across Texas, 105 the high in Abilene, 104 San Angelo, 102 in Midland, also 102 in Laredo. We've got a ridge of high pressure sitting down to our southwest. That is really amplifying the heat this weekend, and it'll continue to hang pretty close to us for the next couple of days. But by the middle and back half of this week, that ridge will become suppressed, and we'll see the weather pattern across the country change to allow for a nice dip in the jet stream to fall down out of Canada, out of the northern tier of the U.S. This will bring in some cooler air, but this will also allow for some better rain-making energy to set up across the eastern and southern tier of the U.S. And that does mean we could be looking at not only getting our temperatures out of the triple digits and closer to seasonal norms, but also for some chances of rain sneaking into the forecast by next weekend. So there is a little bit of hope on the horizon, but here in the short term, especially for the next few days, it will continue to be unseasonably hot. Now, one thing we've got going for us, air temperature of 98 at the airport, but our heat index or feels like temperature is actually 2 degrees lower than that. Nothing too crazy. But the reason why is because we've had some drier air filter in this afternoon. Our dew points in a lot of spots are in the 50s. So when we can dry the air out just a little bit, that helps us out with the heat indices, and it's more of a dry heat. That's what we will be contending with tomorrow as well. So in the morning, 70, a few clouds here and there and muggy, and then another afternoon with the dry heat, but doesn't really matter. It's still going to be 100 degrees tomorrow. And again, heat for the next several afternoons, and then flipping the script a bit, low and rain chances trying to sneak in for next weekend, guys.
Who knows? Maybe June will shock us and we'll have some record-breaking lows.
You go ahead and be positive over there. Yeah. All right, Larry, Cowboys rookie minicamp has wrapped. What did we learn?
Well, we learned that most observers up there watching rookie minicamp for the Cowboys really like the rookie class, including third-round draft pick wide receiver Jalen Tolbert, who could make an impact this season, and in the WNBA, Melissa Smith made some history. Coming up.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
The Dallas Cowboys wrapped up their 3-day rookie minicamp at the Star in Frisco today, and one rookie who could find himself becoming an instant contributor is third-round draft pick Jalen Tolbert, a wide receiver from South Alabama. CeeDee Lamb is the boys' big dog receiver, but with Amari Cooper gone to Cleveland and Michael Gallup recovering from a torn ACL, Tolbert has a good shot to make some noise, and for him, it starts with rookie minicamp.
It's definitely surreal, but it's also, it's here. I earned this ability to be in this locker room with these amazing guys, this amazing support staff, and everybody around. So I'm just taking it in and enjoying it and having fun with it.
When Cowboys offensive coordinator Kellen Moore was asked to describe Tolbert, he answered with 2 words: he's awesome. Rookie minicamp is also over with for the Houston Texans. The AFC South squad traded up 5 spots to select Alabama linebacker Christian Harris in round 3 with the number 75 pick. He was a 2-year starter for the Crimson Tide and tallied 220 tackles, 26 tackles for loss, 10 sacks, and 5 interceptions. Texans head coach Lovie Smith was asked how much does Harris have to catch up to do what the Texans need him to do.
All of our rookies have a lot to learn. And we put, contrary to public opinion, we just play cover 2 every snap, and just linebackers just go out on the football field and start playing. There is a little bit for them to learn, and we ask a lot of them, but he'll be able to pick it up. He's been eager to get started, and now he's there.
Harris said he's trying to learn as much as the defense as he can, and not just his spot, but everybody's. 49ers rookie offensive lineman Spencer Burford is doing a fantastic job promoting the 2-0. Drafted in the 4th round out of UTSA, the former 4-star recruit was asked why did he attend UTSA instead of leaving the area for another Division I program.
I just wanted to be a pioneer, you know what I'm saying? Why go be a part of something when I can start something on my own, especially putting my city and my city's face on the map, especially from a recruiting standpoint and a college standpoint. I feel like that was the best move that I could have possibly done. And now that it was a rough first 2 years, of course. It's a young program, but now on the back end of back 2 years, we had some pretty good seasons. And so I can honestly say before I left there, I did what I said I wanted to do.
Spencer will now prep for OTAs that start May 23rd. San Antonio FC won at Miami FC last night 2-0 to wrap up a stretch of 3 straight road games. Midfielder Deshane Beckford scored his first goal of the season and first with SAFC, striking in the 42nd minute for a 1-0 lead. Beckford, who played for Colorado Springs FC last season, was back in the starting lineup last night after not starting the last couple of matches, and the move paid off.
I mean, it's football. Everybody expected me to start the season strong, but unfortunately, it's a new team. I had to adapt. It took me a minute, and now I understand the system. So I was always ready. I just think it was just the right time for me to score,
Goalkeeper Jordan Farr kept his 5th clean sheet of the season and 5th in the last 6 matches. SAFC will host Colorado Springs on May 21st at Toyota Field at 7:30 p.m. Friday night, the Indiana Fever beat the New York Liberty 92-86 in overtime. Fever rookies Nalissa Smith and Queen Egbo made some history, becoming the first 2 WNBA rookies on the same team to grab 14-plus rebounds in the same game. Smith had 17 rebounds and 12 points, while Egbo had 14 boards and 8 points. Smith knows rebounding is key.
For sure. I know rebounding helps my team win. So, going to the boards also helps you score more. Every offensive rebound, you scoring easily. So that's why I rebound the most.
This afternoon, the Fever lost to the Dream 85-79. Alyssa had 18 points and 6 rebounds. In the NBA, Boston beat Milwaukee 109-81 in Game 7 of that playoff series, knocking out the defending champions. Boston will face Miami in the Eastern Conference Finals. The UIL State Track and Field Championships concluded yesterday evening in Austin, and Reagan senior Taylon Wise ended her high school track career with a silver medal in the triple jump and a pair of top 5 finishes in the long jump and 300-meter hurdles. Wise earned the medal on her 6th and final jump, posting a mark of 42 feet, nearly a foot and a half farther than her previous best, and moving up from 5th to 2nd.
Coach was like, you have to go for it, and I started taking off like I was running the 4x1, and then that ended up in a 42-foot jump. I think this is the first competition where I didn't jump my winning jump like in the beginning. Like I jumped it quite literally at the end, and I rarely do that.
Wise was one of 6 medalists from the greater San Antonio area last night. You can go watch a full recap of the state meet on our website at KSAT.com. All right, Major League Baseball, Blue Jays at the Rays. This dad was able to snag a foul ball, and he hands it to his son. Dad is all smiles and clapping. His kid is smiling and gets a low 5. It's all fun and games until the boy throws it back, and the dad, well, he can't believe it exactly. No, they were about 15 rows from the field, so hopefully some nice fan gave the ball back to them.
Dad handled that very well. Better than I would have.
Yeah, right.
Thank
what
you,
are you
Larry.
We'll be right back.
We're out of time. See you at 10.